The former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. He is also a Fox News contributor. Secretary, good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Maria, it's great to be with you this morning.
So we are approaching 1 year as Joe Biden, as the commander-in-chief. Assess this administration's foreign policy.
Oh, goodness, Maria. I was on your show at the very beginning of the administration. We wanted to give them every opportunity to be successful. American national security should be not political. But I got to tell you, after now almost 11 months, we've seen debacle after debacle. Don't forget the Russians shut down a pipeline in the southeastern part of the United States, denying gas to Americans, and the Biden administration did nothing. They then tried to build out a pipeline in northern Europe to allow the Russians to control European energy, and this administration gave them a free pass. And now Russia's mounting troops on the Ukrainian border, and the president has mere words for them. I was traveling in the Middle East last week. World leaders were gathered. I must say, they're all looking at America and are continuing to believe that they can't count on America as a friend, that they can't rely on a partner, that for 4 years in the Trump administration, while we didn't promise everything we promised, we delivered on. And that's what the world is looking for. And so whether it's the Chinese Communist Party's moves against Taiwan, or the Russians' moves in Europe, or the Iranians' efforts to continue to build out their nuclear enrichment program and their weapons program. This is what rogue nations, bad actors, dictators will do when you walk away from the fundamental maxim of Ronald Reagan, which is we win, they lose. When you show weakness, when you say we're back and you really go back to Barack Obama, these are the kind of things you will see, and America will be less secure, and our people here at home, our families will be less secure as a result of this.
Well, I mean, what is the reason that Russia is building up these troops now? What is the reason that China is flying these jets into Taiwan now? And the reason that Iran is making the United States beg for a nuclear deal? They've all decided to get aggressive now.
Every action the Biden administration has taken, all the evidence that any world leader can see, any dictator can see, shows that America has no resolve, no credibility, no capacity to actually protect the things that matter to the United States and to our friends in Asia or our friends in Europe. Don't forget, Maria, I mean, the list is so long. The Afghanistan debacle is first and foremost. The way we departed there with 13 Americans killed, I think world leaders all said the Americans will do nothing to protect their own military. We saw the Iranians fire missiles into Israel within weeks of the Biden administration taking office. Right out of the Gaza Strip, they flew missiles into Israel. And the United States took days and days to tell the Israelis they could defend themselves. When the people rose up in Cuba and wanted freedom for themselves, this administration took 4 days to say, oh, no, democracy is a good thing. And the president had to read it from a 3x5 card. This is not the deterrence model that President Trump and our administration had. We were clear to people around the world we were going to defend the things that mattered in a way that provided assistance to our friends and allies and kept the American people safe.
Well, this is just extraordinary, and these are all national security risks. I want to drill down on all of this. Let's slip in a short break, but I've got to ask you about this secret deal that Apple did with China, $275 billion deal with the Chinese Communist Party. What will it take for corporate America to realize that China is an adversary? We will talk about that when we come right back. Stay with us with Secretary Mike Pompeo.
You know what you can get for free?
You can get your free Experian credit report.
You can get your free FICO score.
You can also boost it for free
with Experian Boost.
Get 3 for free. Your credit report, your FICO score, and boost it. Free only with Experian. Download the Experian app now.
Meet the new Power XL Vortex Air Fryer with Vortex Rapid Air Technology for faster, crispier food and the power to do so much more. Get the new Power XL Vortex Grill now.
It's easy to focus on the things we build, the exhibits we create, or the content we produce. But behind every experience is a person, and behind every person, a calling. At Answers in Genesis, our collective calling is to impact global communities for good, especially during times of need. Support us today to make a difference. Visit answers.gift now.
In Greenwich burn. They try to make them stop it, only come and drops you'll see probably won't touch me. I want to stay for the holidays.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back,
you may need to target inflammation.
What?
You may need to target inflammation.
No!
over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating the eyes and may provide temporary relief. Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease. It can provide lasting relief. Xiidra is the only FDA-approved non-steroid eye drop specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye twice a day. Don't use if you are allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Eyes will relieve, symptoms decrease. Xiidra can bring lasting relief.
This holiday, ask your doctor about Xiidra.
Sundays.
It's time to take a bigger look at this.
Mark tackles our nation's latest headlines and makes sense of the issues that matter most. Sundays at 8 on Life, Liberty, and Levin.
Surprise your whole family with the perfect holiday gift. Skechers. It's comfort everyone will love, from fun shoes for kids to stylish footwear for adults. Plus apparel and gift cards, all at an incredible value. Happy holidays from Skechers, the comfort technology company.
31 days of going home for the holidays with Reno 911.
We're gonna be with you all month long, watching shows and movies.
31 days of going home for the holidays, all December long on Comedy Central.
Guys, we haven't gone anywhere.
What I believe in can't be contained. Cut! I believe with the right tools, we can be everything we want to be. Be all of who you are.
Welcome back. I am back with former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and we are talking about the national security threats this country faces. Secretary, I want to get your reaction to a top Pentagon official warning Congress that China is actively preparing to attack Taiwan. Xi Jinping apparently says he's waiting until after the Olympics, which now is just 2 months away. Your thoughts on that, as well as the Beijing Olympics in general? I mean, this diplomatic boycott that the United States has led, what does that mean?
Maria, I think the fact that these Olympics are going to take place in China is a devastating statement about the International Olympic Committee and, frankly, global businesses' unwillingness to confront the challenge that the Chinese Communist Party presents. You're going to have major American corporations sponsoring athletes and sponsoring these games, supporting a regime that is holding 1 million people in internment camps in the western part of China. We're going to send American athletes to China, and we teach our kids, our young people, these talented athletes to speak freely. They're going to go to China, and if one of them should say, free Tibet, or good for the people of Hong Kong, or I support Taiwanese democracy, they may not get their exit visa granted. They may be stuck in China if they say something that the Chinese Communist Party determines as inconsistent with their national security threat. And these American companies need to understand that they are underwriting an adversary. They are providing resources and money to a corrupt regime that has the global intention of changing the way every American lives. We need to challenge the Chinese Communist Party on every front. When you hear a Chinese military leader say they're preparing and they'll fire on Americans if we do so much as help the democracy in Taiwan be successful, these are the kind of things that administration must confront, our business leaders have to confront. This is a serious challenge that confronts the United States of America, and we all need to be serious in the way the Trump administration was serious to confront China on every front, diplomatic, economic, and military.
And yet, Joe Biden had 4 calls with Xi Jinping this year. I mean, 4 calls that lasted hours, 3 hours long. And not once did Joe Biden raise the issue of the origins of COVID-19. We all know what has taken place here, that this virus that has killed 700,000 people in America, millions more across the world, originated in Wuhan, China. We don't know the details, if it was intentional or if it wasn't intentional. You've got companies like Apple doing a $275 billion deal with the CCP, where Apple promises the CCP it's going to train its people to make iPhones just so that Apple can get a good deal and Apple can get a better regulatory framework. Ray Dalio, another one, comparing, what happened in China where they disappeared Jack Ma, they disappeared this tennis star. He says it's, that's like a strict parent.
Yes, this isn't like a strict parent. This is like communist leaders that we know, whether that's Stalin or Mao. We know these kinds of dictators and what they mean for freedom around the world and American prosperity, and we have to confront it. Our business leaders can't engage in this kind of moral relativism. But in the first instance, Maria, we've talked about this. This is a government responsibility. The Chinese Communist Party knew they had a dangerous virus on their hands. They allowed it to travel across the world, and the result has been millions of deaths. We need to, again, redouble our efforts to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable. I'm continuing to work on that. This is very important. This virus, that your point is right, has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans and millions of people and destroyed so many lives in the United States. And now we're permitting the Chinese to bring fentanyl across our border, threaten the Taiwanese democracy, and hold an Olympic Games. This is something that the world's going to have to work on, and the American government, President Biden and his team, need to lead that. So far, they have failed in that miserably.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the fentanyl. We're going to talk with Stephen Miller about that. But, I mean, my question is the CCP just trying to kill us all off? I mean, look at the way they're taunting us. This week, news of a new China-backed propaganda film depicting the CCP defeating the U.S. Army. And this is a movie right now in China. It's set to become the highest-grossing film ever in China. And then this is just a few weeks after we learned that the CCP was using fake U.S. warplanes as targets when they were doing target practice, target drills for the CCP military. I mean, clearly they are taunting the United States. Is it of your mind that you believe, do you believe that the CCP wants to overtake the United States, acquire America?
Maria, there's no doubt about the Xi Jinping, the leader of the Chinese Communist Party's intention. This is a one-party state dominated by a communist tyrant, and his objective is to achieve rejuvenation. He uses the term the China Dream. They refer to their country as the Middle Kingdom. This is a power that wants to dominate the world. They believe that China's rightful place in the world is to be the global hegemon, and they are intent upon delivering that. And we watched, frankly, Republicans and Democrats, Maria, for 2 decades turn the other cheek, allow them to steal millions of jobs from the United States of America by stealing our intellectual property, and we did nothing. This is going to require every skill set we have. We can push back against them. They aren't 10 feet tall, Maria. We can defeat this threat in the same way we took down the Soviet Union, but we have to be resolved. American business has to come around and participate in this, and we need to respect the fact that Xi Jinping has this intention to be the global power, and we need to make sure that the West, property rules, basic freedoms, rights-respecting nations are the ones that dominate the next century in the way they did the last one.
Yeah, and there they are calling each other old friend, buddy friend when they do their calls. Secretary, this is all very dangerous, and we so appreciate your focus on it. We will continue to follow the developments. Thank you, sir.
Bless you.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.